They are making me put a warning label on this podcast talking about adult language and adult situations. First of all, these kids are already adults. They've had phones in their hands from the time they were 4 years old. They're watching porn, they smoking, they cussing, they having sex. But I have to warn them about my podcast? Whatever. All right. This is so exciting. Welcome to Nightmare Road Stories. This is our very first episode. Nightmare Road Stories is basically a series where we talk to performers about their hellish or hilarious or unique or interesting stories from the road. A lot of us live out of suitcases and, we just pile up the experiences, and some are crazier than others, which is why I want to start with my first Nightmare Road story, because I don't think if we did 10 seasons, I don't think we get a story crazier than this one. But let's just catch up with what's been going on lately. We're right in the middle of a pandemic. Nobody could have foreseen this plague coming except for Barack and Biden, because they left a pandemic plan that Trump threw away, but we're going to leave that alone. So now we're in the middle of a pandemic, and a lot of us have not worked in months. I have not stood up since February. I am a sit-down comedian. I'm doing all kinds of Zoom shows. I haven't had to put bottoms on since February. I've been Winnie the Pooh in it. I've only had to wash like 12 articles of clothing since February, because I'm not going through them like that. I'm just sitting in the house looking crazy, because I ain't trying to get nobody's COVID-19. I got 79 comorbidities. So I'm going to sit right in this house. And I done seen everything on TV. I done seen everything you could possibly see. I'm all caught up. I've seen everything on Netflix, everything on Hulu, everything on Amazon Prime, everything on YouTube. There's nothing I have not seen. Right now I'm watching Love Country, something on HBO. The title's so daggone hard. Just go to HBO and look it up. Lovecraft Country. I'm watching that. That is awesome. They mix sci-fi with the civil rights era. I don't even like sci-fi, and I like that. They got a character called Hippolyta. That's some Greek stuff right there. I need to read a little bit more. Hippolyta. I love me some Hippolyta. Hippolyta is gangster. You hear me? I turn it on for Hippolyta. For the name. Don't that sound like an ailment at the doctor's? Doctor, I think something wrong with my Hippolyta. Can you give me a prescription? But watch that. Like I said, I've seen everything on YouTube. I done learned how to wash a wig. I ain't even know I needed to know how to wash a wig, but I know. They said take a half a cup of detergent and half a cup of fabric softener and put it in the sink and scrunch the wig around for 30 minutes. Somebody in the YouTube comments said they're going to have you walking around smelling like a fresh load of laundry. And they are absolutely correct. That's exactly how I smelled. I went into the grocery store. Homeless man followed me all through them aisles. I must have smelled like dreams and aspirations. But let me tell you, there's some benefits to a pandemic. There's some benefits. People with bad breath now know they got it. That bad breath smacking them right back up in their nostrils. They having to deal with what we've been dealing with for years. You're like, yeah, now you smell it too, Rico. You smell it too. There's some benefits to a pandemic. My car insurance company sent me back 2 checks. They said, we know you ain't going nowhere, so we're going to give you 2 rebates. Yes, they did, and they was right. I wasn't going nowhere. I cashed both them checks. Thank you, car insurance company, because you've been gouging for far too long. But anyway, we're going to get this show going. I'm so excited for my first guest. Not only is he my first guest, but he's a personal friend. And the way he became a personal friend is very unorthodox. Very unorthodox. He's a part of my Nightmare Road story. So, let's bring him out. Today's guest is Mr. Antoine Scott out of Virginia, one of the funniest men out here. Matter of fact, hold up. Before we even bring Antoine on, I'm going to let y'all see a little bit of Antoine's act. Yeah, go to the clip. Let these people see what Antoine can do. That's my man.
I'm going to tell y'all something right now, man. If you got anybody coming to the cookout, this is a public service announcement. Look here. If they got again, if they got any kind of personal defect, let the people know before they get there. All I'm saying is my cousin brought a friend to the cookout now. Look, one of his eyes was going straight down Broad. But this one was on Jeff Davis right here. This one was on the south side. This one was on the north side, is all I'm saying. Let the people know if they got any kind of personal defect. Now, I said because when they come in the house now, I don't do the white and black kind of jokes, kind of comedy. I'm telling y'all, if the white kid sees Jennifer's friend come to the house, he's gonna ask mommy. You know what I'm saying? Mommy, Jennifer's friend's eyes.
All right, everybody, welcome Mr. Antoine Scott.
Come on with it now. Come on with it. I like that intro you just gave. Woo! You got that personal defect. Let somebody know, Leisha. Can't walk up in there, people. Come on, you coming at one leg shorter than the other. You got to let people know, especially black folk. You can't walk in there with black people families with a surprise like that. We need to know before they get to the house. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't want no
and
trouble.
you're right, because we don't have any filters, Antoine. So you're right.
So no, and that was just, you ain't got to the uncle that's outside in the yard.
Oh no.
Auntie, you know what I mean? That one side of the family, grandma, we ain't got outside yet.
No. We have not even gotten outside, and you are absolutely correct. But that's why I love your stuff, because it's rooted in what's real. And we all can relate to it, man. You know, the first time I saw you perform stand-up was the night we met.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
And I mean, you were on fire that night, and you've been on fire. That's why you got booked, you know, because you were on fire. That's why you got used.
That's why I'm about to say, wait a minute, you knew something I didn't know, because I sure ain't got booked. I got bamboozled that night. No, I got bamboozled.
You got to run astray, let him muck.
let him muck. No, we got bamboozled.
Woo, I still haven't recovered from that. What's funny is that it took us a year to even realize we had been bamboozled. How slow are we?
We didn't, at least we didn't even know. That's when you know you bamboozled somebody pretty good, when the person didn't even realize 360 plus days later, a whole new calendar year came in and we never knew.
Didn't even know. You know what? I think the Sade song "Smooth Operator" was written for that character. No need to ask. He's a smooth operator. That he was so smooth. I mean, I ain't never seen nobody this smooth. But you know what? In order for you to be that smooth and beating somebody out of what they supposed to get, you have to be a veteran at it.
Oh, yeah.
You know we wasn't the first people that he got.
That's a good point you just made. We couldn't have been the first people he got, because the way you ran that operation, because I had to be an operation to run that on 5 people. Come on with it. I said 5 people.
Yeah, 5 grown
people.
You know, college educated people. Let's go ahead and tell the audience what we talking about. I want to tell y'all how this is me and Antoine Scott's Nightmare Road story. We met in a nightmare on the road. What happened was we had gotten booked. There's a comic. We're not even going to use his last name, but we will use his first name. There was a comic named Teddy, and he booked 5 of us from different parts of the country. Antoine was from Virginia. I'm from Maryland. Courtney G was out of Cleveland. Rodney Bigham was out of Houston. Yeah. Was it somebody else?
That's Larry Lancaster out of Baltimore.
Larry Lancaster out of Baltimore. Woo! Larry Lancaster been a corrections officer. So anytime you bamboozle people with an inside track to the criminal justice system, you's a bad somebody. He got all of us. He called us individually. What happened was in 2008, I had moved back to Maryland from Los Angeles, and I was starting over. So when you move to another town, you are effectively at the end of the line. You know, like it's Baskin Robbins. You take your ticket and you at the back. You know,
started
over again. and I'm trying to meet who's here. I'm trying to meet who the bookers are on the East Coast. And I'm working at this club in Temple Hills, Maryland, that Eddie Bryant was the MC of. Eddie B, I did my act, and in the back was a comic named Teddy. He was sitting at the bar drinking. When I got off stage, because at this time, this man had probably been in the game 25 years minimum. You know, so I got off stage. He said, I'm really impressed with you. He said, I've been around this area for a long time. He said, what I just watched was a comedian with material. He said, you didn't just get up there and start talking off the dome and hoping you bump into a punchline. You actually had material. So he pumping my head up. I'm feeling good because this dude was a big wig. He was on Def Jam, killing it. You know, he had his own talk show briefly. And I felt like, wow, I'm being complimented by an A-lister in the game. He said, I have material. And he was right. I got material.
Material. That's right.
But that didn't mean come use me. So about a week later, I get a call from him and he said, are you trying to work at the Laugh House in Philly? He said, because I'm putting together a showcase. The bookers want to see new faces. So I'm going to put together a showcase, and I got to include you. Could you send me a clip of your act so I can add to a reel? Because I'm going to put together this showcase. It's going to be you and some other up-and-coming heavy hitters, and the bookers going to be there. They're going to see you, and then they will bring you back at another time to headline your own weekend. Now, to hungry, broke, starving, struggling comedians, that sounds good. That sounds like a 24-karat bar gold right there.
Sounds delicious.
Don't it? I was like, Mama, Teddy just said. So I send him my clip. He puts together this reel. We help him promote it. We throwing the reel all up on Facebook. We getting this thing out. We in it. We getting butts in seats. I'm telling my family members that live in Philly. I'm sure now. You know what don't even make sense? You don't showcase for no 5 shows. Like we showcase like 2 shows on Friday and 3 shows on Saturday.
Not even thinking.
Showcase is a one-time thing, but we just not thinking. All we hear is 5 shows. We excited.
5 shows at the comedy club.
At a comedy club in Philly.
One of the premier comedy clubs in Philly.
Kevin Hart, a whole bunch of people started at this club, and this is where we want to be. Philly ain't but a couple hours drive from Maryland and from Virginia. So we like, once we get booked, we ain't even got to buy a plane ticket. We can just hop in the car and drive on up the road.
Saving money.
Easy money. I'm going to be there. Yes, Teddy. What are the dates, Teddy? So he gives us the dates, and I tell Teddy, I said, look, I'm gonna have to miss one of the shows. I'm headlining in Princeton, New Jersey that weekend, but I can do 4 to 5. So he said, okay, cool. So I get in the car, I drive down to the Laugh House, and I ask them what hotel are we in. They tell us. So I drive on over to the hotel. I'm just gonna leave my things in the room. When I get to my room, and I pop the lock. I climb the stairs and turn the key. Oh, please don't be there. I turn the key and I see some man's clothes on the second bed. So my spidey senses are tingling. So, and look, the way the pants draped over the bed, they come down to a pair of shoes. You know, like the person that put this together wanted to see how it was going to look, not on it.
Laid it.
No, the whole thing was laid out. The legs was over the bed, draped down into some shoes. Nice shoes, expensive shoes. Headliner already looking shoes. So I'm still confused. I'm like, oh, I'm in the wrong room. So I back out the room. I go back downstairs to the front desk and I say, I think you gave me the wrong room. There's already a man's, already some man's stuff in that room. You know, I could have been shot. This Philly. You know, so the lady said, no, that's the right room. So I'm like, the right room. So I go back upstairs. Here come Antoine out the bathroom. We looking at each other.
That's my favorite. I got the towel all on. I got the towel. I'm covering all up. I feel like, Lord have mercy. Girl, what you doing?
Antoine looking shocked. I'm looking shocked. Because I'm trying to figure out what happened. So we start talking and we realize we both on the same show. And this is our room.
Yeah, our room.
This is our room. The first time Antoine and I ever met, we slept together.
Yeah.
We had the same room, unbeknownst to us. I'm like, God dang it. So I leave my stuff and I got to go because I got to get up to Princeton for this show. So I don't even have time to deal with what's going on, what this craziness is happening right now in Philly. So I go up to Princeton to do my show, come back, I go to the club, everybody's performing, killing it. Antoine killed it, Larry killed it, Courtney G killed it, Rodney Bingham killed it. I had a great set. We had a good time. Now we back at the room. Me and Antoine done hit it off. We good friends now.
So what you doing? So
Antoine had on a suit. Cause wasn't you like the preacher or something, the pastor?
That was my, back then, when my style of dressing as a headliner was, the vest with a shirt and tie, looking professional, but it also was a preacher type of look. And plus I kind of sounded the same anyway on stage. So I kind of had the preacher type feel to me. I was sharp though. You seen his outfit laid out on the bed.
He was shocked. And let me tell you, his preacher persona was very disarming. I felt like I was in good hands with Allstate. Very disarming. After we laughed and joked, we became the best of buddies. So we do our shows. And then the next day we get a call from Teddy. He says, let's all go out to this cafe and get some late breakfast, early lunch. And we like, okay. So he tells us where to go. We all meet at this place and we order our food. And we all had to individually pay for our own meals. Still didn't nothing went off in our heads about that being strange. Skills. Nothing went off. We already broke. We didn't use our last bit of gas to get up here. But we done went on and paid for our own meals. And we having a good time. We all bonding, we talking, and Teddy pontificating because he's the veteran at the table. And there ain't nothing wrong at this point. So we do the rest of the shows and we all go home. Antoine and I keep in touch. We've been friends ever since. And periodically, we call back up to the club because we've had killer shows.
Yeah, killer.
And the bookers were there. They were there. Yeah. They were in the back of the room. Just like Teddy said. So we know we've been seen. Now it's time to get booked. So Antoine, tell your story about trying to get booked now based off the agreement.
I can just backtrack just a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna tell you when Teddy called me, right? When he called me, right? It was just like almost like when you ain't seen your father when you got daddy issues, and they call you up and say, "Son," you're like, "Oh, it's my dad." He said, "Son, I've been watching you for a while." It's almost like you play football and you ain't know he been coming to the football games. Right. And you say, I've been watching. You know how much that means to you? Because this person, like you said, been in the game for a while. So a person of this stature to call you on the phone just out the blue. Call me up, smooth though. Like you said, smooth operator. Antoine, I really like your style. I've been watching you for a while, and you getting excited, you giggling like you dad. Oh, my daddy been watching me. Then invite you out to them 5 shows. I think I had shows booked already that weekend that I gave away to somebody else for an opportunity to get booked in that Laugh House in Philly. Come on, that's the Laugh House. Woo. So like you said, like we met, we in the room together, and all of a sudden just kind of threw us off a little bit. So time go on, we do the shows, and just the skills to bring everybody together, and nobody said nothing while we were eating about none of that stuff. See, that's skills, not to keep everybody separate, right, but keep everybody together, and nobody said nothing about nothing. Boy, I tell you what, your skills are on 1,000. So right. Time go on, now it's time to get booked, because we had 5 great shows. Yes. Everybody killed. So it's time to go on. Come on, it's been 2 months. It's been 2 months. They should have called me by now and gave me a date, a weekend date. So I said, I'm gonna take it upon myself. I'm gonna call the club. So I keep calling the club. I'm calling the club. I ain't getting no answer. I think I started emailing. I'm emailing. At that time, I had the next guest's phone number. So I'm texting. I'm looking like, give me a date. Give me a date. And they keep telling me, you just left. But I'm like, no, Teddy said that if this is when I finally got her on the phone. Teddy said when we do the showcase week, that's probably how I sounded too. Teddy said when we do the showcase weekend, you can give us a date. She said, huh? I said, he had said, she said, Antoine, you just left. I don't know what you do. You don't know what I'm talking about? And at this point in time, now I'm ticked. And it's not her fault because she don't know what's going on.
Right, and we don't even agree with the we just left because we feel like we didn't get our closing weekend. In our mind, we didn't just leave. We were just a part of a showcase. So in our mind, it's almost like we ain't even been there because we haven't had a chance to promote ourselves as the closer and get the closer money that we were promised if we had done a good show as the headliner. So in our mind, we didn't just leave. We ain't been there yet. You got to put me on the calendar by myself. That's when I just left. So we're not even understanding. Yeah, my name in lights. We're not even understand. We're not supposed to be a part of an ensemble. So I didn't just leave. I ain't had my shot yet. And you just saw me. So we thinking, why they playing these games? Why Bree over here playing these games? You know, and see, also once you leave, everybody's clamoring because I want my weekend before Antoine get his, before Larry get his, before Rodney. So Rodney, we trying to get our weekend first. We don't want to be 5 weekends back. So it's crazy. I know that phone was ringing off the hook, and I know Bree was like, "Why is my phone ringing off the hook with 5 different people? I'm not planning on booking. Who just in my mind just left.
Just left."
And let me say something to the audience. Never, no matter what field you're in, it could be Broadway, it could be R&B singers on the road. It doesn't matter what the road gig. Never would a man and a woman get put in a room together.
No.
That you open yourself up for lawsuits. You know, anything could have happened. You don't put I could have been butt fucked that weekend. I didn't agree to get done in my butt for a showcase. So it's like so nobody puts a man and woman together because of legal liabilities. So again, my spidey senses should have gone off.
Lisa, but do you know where did your room go? Huh? Where does your room go?
Because now let me tell y'all, I'm glad you asked that question, Antoine. So by the time I get Bree on the phone, it's about 6 months later, and she want to know why you keep calling me, Bree? I'm calling because you owe me a weekend. I don't owe you no weekend. I said, Bree, we came out there and we did 5 free shows so that we can get in front of y'all so that you can book us back individually as a headliner. Why you acting like you don't know, Bree? Bree was like, Alicia, we paid Teddy to pay y'all.
Yeah.
We don't owe you anything. I said, but Bree, you didn't even give me my own room. You made me stay in a room with a stranger I had never met. She said, Alicia, you had your own room. Why would I do that? You're the only woman on the lineup. You had your own room. So now I'm hot. What happened was Teddy came down there from Maryland. He met some chick that he wanted to sleep with and brought his 10-year-old son down there that weekend. That's where he went wrong. He should have left the 10-year-old with his mama. He gave the 10-year-old son my room so that he could have sex with some random. So now my anus wide open. Ain't nobody protecting me. And the little boy snug as a bug in a rug in my hotel room. I don't know this little boy like that to care. I would have told that little boy, go in the bathroom while your father and his random do whatever they got to do. But this here's my room, little Billy. So after Bree explains all this to me, now I'm hot. I call Antoine. The gig is up now. We are so hot. Do y'all know that after he got all of our money, he didn't even pay for us to eat that Saturday?
Nothing.
The least he could have done was pick up the check, right, Antoine?
At least you in your mind, you going everybody eating. To at least be like, you know what? I'm doing them so dirty. Let me just pick up the tab. Let me at least just pay for the food. But he was like, well, I'm keeping everything. You know, I gave him a ride to Best Buy. You going like your daddy once again, hey son, I need to go to the store. Sure, Dad, I'll take you to the store wherever you want to go. I took him all the way to Best Buy. Gave you a good ride, free ride on my gas, knowing in your mind, boy, you don't even know what's finna happen to you when you you ain't gonna get nothing.
He could have at least fed us to make sure we had the nutrients and the sustenance to do them 3 shows later that night. So a couple of the comics flew in. So I drove them to eat that meal. They all jumped in the car with me. You know somebody stole my cigarette lighter adapter out my damn car?
I remember that. You were hot. You was hot.
Hot. How am I'm worse off after doing the gig. I gotta go buy another cigarette light adapter to get home because that's how my phone is charging.
Losing money.
Favor. I'm losing money every which way in unprecedented ways. Ain't nobody ever stole a cigarette light adapter from me before or since. But all kinds of ignorance was happening that weekend.
Well, you was hot about that. You said, I know. Didn't it get switched or something? Somebody put like
yes, they took what they did. The reason why I didn't realize it was stolen, I had a brand new one. They took their old one with the short in it and replaced it with mine. So I was like, and it was all old and grubby looking. Right? Mine was brand new.
Brand new. And you kept saying, no, mine was brand new. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I know mine was brand new. What is this right here? This old ass. You were hot. Boy, that was a hot weekend, wasn't it?
That was a hot weekend. But let's bring Bree in because she's here with us. We need y'all to know that Antoine and I are not by any stretch of the imagination making any of this up. We got the booker at the time from the Laugh House in Philly, Miss Bree Anderson. Let's bring Bree on. Bree. Hey, Bree.
Hey.
We're going back down memory lane.
Yes.
Bree,
oh man, how are you?
We're good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. This is just too funny.
So tell us, at the time that we had this incident, how long had you been the booker at the Laugh House at that time?
Oh man, at that time for some time. So for quite, I'm thinking a couple years maybe.
Okay.
At that time, or at least a year, at least I'll say about 2 years or so. So I know how we do things. I know we never put a female. I know that, for sure. So and I'm the person who made sure all the rooms were booked. So I kind of know how things went. But that particular weekend was that particular weekend was at Teddy and Friends. You were just friends then.
See, it got worse, Antoine. We were just there. We weren't just there as being friends.
You were just friends. No, seriously, no. That's how I know. That was. I remember that. I believe that's what it was called. Anyway, it was a showcase. But now I'm thinking about it. Yes, the showcase is definitely one show, but it was several showcases of comedians who were paid, who were all individually supposed to be paid. The lead person on the show is the person who is supposed to, divvy out all of the the
ends.
And yeah. So so we were so once we book you and we pay you, you don't come back for 6 months to a year minimum. That's just the way it goes. I'll see you next year for the most part. There's lots of comedians who, have to, get in the rotation, that type of thing. So once you guys came and went, we were just like, okay, great. check, see you next year, so, and
then that's how we felt. That's how we felt. We felt like you were saying, see you next year.
Except we felt you were paid, so it all made sense, exchange, no robbery, that kind of thing. So, that's what it was. And then, we kept, Antoine would call, and we just like, Preacher Boy keeps calling, Preacher Boy keeps calling, I don't know. And a couple people in the stand was like, well, I don't know what to tell him, but you know what to tell, So we're just like, I don't know what to really say. I'm not sure if he understands the concept, and Alicia started. I'm just like, okay, she's calling a lot, and we don't have a date for you right now, and I just don't know. It was just a little uncomfortable. And then there's other there's like 5 of you guys, and it's like, okay, and along with everyone else, but the 2 of you are consistent. You're consistent. You're persistent. And it was so. Eventually, Alicia's like, listen, Brie, and she had lost her cool, kind of like, listen, woman to woman, like, you had me all up in a room with another dude, like, y'all, said y'all supposed to bring me back, Teddy said, whatever, and I'm like, huh?
Wait a minute.
You were in the room with another guy? Like, first of all, how did that happen? And then we started to talk about the payment, and it was just like, it blew my mind. It blew my mind that it had taken so long for everyone to tie their room together. It was a master plan indeed. Everyone breaking bread and doing things together, my guy, and you were also, we paid. It was times were rough, and we might be freaking out, but it wasn't that night. You were in the room with Antoine, but I probably couldn't have chosen a better person for you to bump into in the room because
exactly. And out of all the guys on the lineup, I would have selected Antoine. Because he is just so good. Antoine was just well raised. He's just a good-hearted guy.
He's a good-hearted,
he really is.
He's just so nice.
You did come back though eventually, right?
Yeah, I came back. Matter of fact, I did the last weekend before the Laugh House. It was me and Alex. I did the last weekend. I can say that I did the last weekend of the Laugh House. Yeah, sure did. I did that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't remember, Bree, but I do remember you being very apologetic and very understanding. And, once we all figured out what had happened, Bree was just the best about it. And you may have brought me back. I can't say that I remember that, but I do remember the light bulb going off.
I remember you coming back as a feature at least. I'm not sure if you headlined, but I know you came back. I'm pretty sure you came back.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
We wanted you back. The show was great. All of the showcases were great.
All 5
showcases.
All 5 of them. They were wonderful. We wanted you all back.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Bree. Before the showcases, all 5 of them, were you aware of myself or Antoine, or did Teddy bring us to your attention?
To be honest, I really don't know. I can't recall right now. I will say this: if either of you called us and inquired about booking before he brought you on, we knew who you were because we I look everyone up. We look into everyone. Okay. If you've ever seen a DVD, so but right off the top of my head, I would say no. I would say I don't. I can't quite remember. I don't know. I don't believe so.
And see, it was really serendipitous for Teddy because I had been trying to get into the Laugh House, and I wasn't making any kind of inroads. So for him to say, I'm going to be the vessel that gets you seen, I was like, this man is sent from God.
See that, and if we knew anything of you when he said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to bring this person on," we probably, "Oh yeah, she said something good," bring her in there. Okay. But it was just that was not the way.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't the way it was supposed to go down at all.
But you know what though? I'm going to say this: I don't believe you were the first people to have ever experienced something like that. After when we finally found out, I think I had heard a few more horror stories. So
okay, yeah. about the same person,
including the same person.
Oh man, this dude had a comic sex trafficking. He was joke trafficking. This dude was joke trafficking. He got a joke trafficking ring.
Well, I've been watching you for a while. I know I've been.
He was
man.
He was smooth. He was smooth.
Yeah. Smooth operator. That's crazy, man. That's just crazy for the way the whole thing went down. And even though I've been there a couple of times on Thursday night and headline a couple of times on Thursday night. But, Thursday night, still because y'all out front doing whatever. And sometimes when the Thursday person come in, y'all like, all right, do the show. All right, boom. All right.
We could always hear in the office. We could always hear you in the office. We heard everything.
So it's like boom, boom, boom. But when I got the phone call, man, it's just, weekend. Yeah, bro. I ain't lie, I burned your phone up. I burned your phone up.
It's like the preacher dude just keeps calling. They're like, preachable again, preachable. Miss Faith, that worked there. I spoke to her recently and we were she'd be a good one. She'd probably have a thing or two to say about this situation too.
But you know what? In a weird way, it feels good to know we weren't the only group got.
Yeah.
That made me feel better.
Yeah.
But the way
it wasn't personal.
The way I even found out through another comedian just by talking to him. It was I just said LK. I don't want to throw his name out there. He's from Philly also. I think you probably know who LK is. And Lawrence K, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I just happened to be talking. I was like, man, we did something on the weekend. He was like, y'all got paid for that. I was like, no, we didn't. He said,
somebody got paid for that.
He said, y'all got paid for that. I said, man, we didn't get no. I said, when you start stuttering, we showcase. We showcase. He said, no, y'all got paid. And I was like, man, shoot, my father done. He hurt my heart.
Man. But the funny thing is, somebody got paid for that. It just wasn't us.
Yes. Yes, somebody got paid. I know who I paid.
I want to ask this question. I don't know if you can answer this or not, because I really want to know. It probably hurt my feelings even more. How much was given?
What was the payment for the 5 shows? That's what we want to know.
I don't know. You might can't remember.
Okay, I can tell you this. I'll tell you this. Okay, I don't remember the exact number.
Okay,
but I can tell you what a basic weekend was, and I can tell you it was probably more than that. So a basic weekend, your average headline is going to get anywhere from $1,000 to back then $1,000 to $1,200, $1,200. Basic headline.
Right.
Yeah. Feature is going to get $500 for the weekend. Your headline,
right.
I mean your host is going to get $250. Okay. So I would say double that, probably nearly double that for such a show, or at least that for you all being new to the game or whatever for 5 shows.
So it was like
somewhere around $3,000, somewhere around $3,000.
Two stacks of battle.
It was something like that. Yeah, and then we have to budget in the hotels.
Right. You know? And he made me pay for my own fish and chips that weekend. I'm still high.
And it was spoiled too. We used to treat Teddy right. Like he was like, I need to eat. I need to what?
So his food was free. His food was free.
In the budget. All y'all food was in the budget.
Lord, his food was free.
I don't pay for my wings.
His food was free.
I don't pay for my wings.
The hotel room picking up a steak. Just eating the French fries.
I don't pay for my wings. Lord have mercy, Lord.
I paid for my fish and chips, and his food was free. This story done got worse.
It got worse. This story done got worse, Lord.
But why did you get free drinks at the bar?
I got 2. I think I got my 2.
Yeah,
I got 2.
Yeah, that part was cool.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, so after we figured it out, I went to Facebook. Because I just had to get it out. Like, I was so mad that, and I used names first and last. I did this long Facebook post, and I think I put it on DMV Comics page. I put it on my page. That's how angry I was. I'm going to blast this situation out because you're not going to be able to get away with this in the dark. You've already gotten away with this for over a year. You know, to paid your mortgage 16 times over, free food, 2 drinks, gave my room to your son. So I go to Facebook and I blast it out. Antoine comes on there. He adds his stuff. You know, so now we tagging the other comics that didn't get paid that weekend. So now it's a mess on social media. Teddy comes on social media trying to clap back like we lying on him, and it didn't go down that way.
What did he say?
That's crazy.
I told the story. I said I'm in a room with a strange man. Thank God we today, and we get along just fine. You know, I said, but that could have gone all the way left.
Wait, did he say that you were that you got paid? Is he trying to insist that he paid you?
No, he tried to act like it wasn't what we said it was. He was trying to act like it was a showcase and we weren't supposed to get paid and I didn't have my own room and you know all this stuff. So he went on there. I mean,
I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to probably implicate that when I called you to showcase for that weekend. Knowing what he told the club, probably like, I'm gonna bring in these 5 comics, ... Knowing the comic club thinking like, well, I'm gonna pay the comics, ...
Yeah, Bria, I'd have rather you pay him and then you pay all of us.
Right.
Well, we learned that eventually going forward, not necessarily from that particular story, but it happened with other people too. You know, it happened where people were supposed to be paid by the headliner and may not have, or for whatever reason, miscommunicate. So I said, you know what? I'll see everybody individually myself. And it made some people upset, but it is what it is. You know, and at least everyone walked away feeling like they got theirs. And you know, so
So Antoine, we took the bullets for other people. We
sure did.
Everything's 2020 and
took that shrapnel.
Listen. Y'all were working too hard. We had to pay Teddy. He was the only one that really was hanging.
Yeah.
Y'all were out there working. I just hear just
man. We was like dun 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 dun. We sweating.
We going hard.
Antoine got a rag. He
wiping his rag up there.
He got in a 7-piece suit under the hot light.
Hot light. We sweating and Teddy cool as a fan. All he did was introduce us and bring us up. The next comic.
Come say, I've been watching this, brother. Because you know when you tell somebody you showcasing, you think you showcasing for the comic club to get booked, we up there going like 100 miles an hour. We going hard.
We doing our A material. You know what I'm saying? We ain't taking no
hard.
breaks. We ain't doing no crowd work. We trying to be seen. You hear me?
We like, whoever behind me, you finna catch this heat. You finna catch this heat. Because I'm finna go up here and light it up.
Oh, it is terrible. This is terrible. But YouTube became good friends because of it. And
if it wasn't for a situation like that, I wouldn't be able to do this first pilot episode of Nightmares with Alicia. Long time friends from a situation of being roommates. See that?
Yeah.
So some good did come out of the situation. And I don't even blame Mr. Teddy. You know what I mean? Just one of them life lessons learned being in the entertainment business.
Yeah, that's what it is. Well, I want to thank you both for being guests on my first episode. This was amazing. Y'all took me back down memory lane. I'm going to go off and cry somewhere, realize I wasn't supposed to pay for that, my fish and chips either. But you know what? It's a lesson learned. That nobody else ever got me like that again. That was a lesson learned.
Same here. Not again.
We gonna have contracts. I'm gonna get a deposit before I leave, and I'm gonna get the other half before I open my mouth. So that was the lesson I had to learn. But you know, it is what it is, and yeah. They, you know, it made us less trusting, right, Antoine?
It sure did. Just like you just said, it made me like, hey, Antoine, can you, where the money at? Send me a contract, send me deposit money, hit my routing number, banking info. You gonna send this money because I want.
That's what he made us do.
Yeah. Did he?
That's what he made us do.
It keep getting worse, Lisa.
It keep getting worse. His was direct deposit into his account. He said, "Send me all their money to my account." His routing number.
He probably said, send me some money. I'm gonna go ahead and send the deposit money to the rest of the comedians. You know, because Bingham Rodney, he flew from Houston.
And Courtney G flew from Cleveland.
They flew down.
They actually paid for round trip flights. That's why one of them stole my damn cigarette lighter adapter. They said, "We're getting something out of this."
Yep. I came to Philly and all I got was this lighter.
All I got was this free, no shortage in it cigarette lighter adapter.
But it goes to show.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, it just goes to show you that the determination and how much comedians put in the work and how we want to go to these comedy clubs to invest in yourself, from flying from Cleveland, flying from Houston, we driving from where we coming from to get booked at a comedy club. That's what comedians do. We come in and say, "What? We on the way." And that's what we do. But unfortunately, we got bamboozled.
And comedians are a very easy group to manipulate and take advantage of because we want our next break. We can't do what we do in our living room. Well, we can now on Zoom. But we used to could not be able to do what we do at home, you know. So so he knew that. He knew the desperation and the stench on us.
Right, like
He's seen the desperation in our voices.
Y'all made my day.
I'm gonna have to
some of the best time.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Bree. Thank you, Antoine. Yeah. So, Antoine, you want to tell us what you're working on?
Well, I'm just trying to find some stages to get on right now because of the quarantine. But you just can follow all of my social media on Facebook. Hit me up at Comedian Antoine Scott. That's my fan page, or they call it the business page right now on Facebook. Comedian Antoine Scott. I'm on Instagram at the Antoine Scott. That's TheAntoinescott. Come on with it now. You heard what I said. And follow my brand, y'all. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to look at you. Come on with it.
And thank you. I'm your host, Alicia Cooper. You can follow me on Instagram at Alicia Cooper2. That's ALYCIACOOPR2. My Facebook fan page. You just type in Alicia Cooper fan page, like that. And my YouTube channel. You can subscribe and click the notifications bell. And like I said, please stay tuned for the next episodes of Nightmare Road Stories because we have just begun. On our next episode, please join me and my special guest, Roy Wood Jr. Nightmare Road Stories is a production of Electricast Media. Our executive producers are Mark Netter and Peter Rafelson. Our producer is April Simmons. Our editor is Jamal Holmes. Theme music by Amir Oshalai. Please subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. If you like the show, please give us a rating and tell your friends. If you don't like the show, please give us a rating and tell your friends. Until next time, I'm your host, Alicia Cooper, and keep your ears on the road.
Electricast.